morning, everyone. This is a free groom. This is Teddy. He's approximately 7 years old. I just finished his sibling who is in a different video, but she is right here. Her name is Buttercup, and I finished her. We're just gonna strip his coat down. Gonna use a 5. I'm gonna check his teeth real quick. Yes, they both desperately need to go see a vet. You can see he's on the verge of getting a oronasal fistula, and they both need to go see a vet like yesterday. So I will tell them off. So I'm using a 5 with the clipper vac, and it just sucks up that dirty hair back into a canister. If you want to see how I empty that, check out her video. So this just sucks that hair up as I'm cutting. Well, bud, you may have to go down a level. Maybe not. So the reason I'm stripping this coat off first is it's what the dogs need. You know, this coat is matted in places. They need a restart, just like Buttercup got. She looks so much better. The second reason I'm doing this is when I cut this off before the bath, it's less bathing time, it's less product use, it's less drying time, it's less everything. And the third reason is if you don't shave this off and you go bathe a matted dog, it's going to tighten that matting while you're drying. And we don't want that because we don't want to have to go shorter than we have to. So I'm keeping both of them as long as possible, which today is a 5. And it's still struggling. I really should go down to 7, but I'm not going to unless I have to. I will be doing a 7 in the inside of the rear legs because they are matted. That's what I did on his sister. It's okay. This is pet grooming. This is not show grooming like you see on TV. I see comments all the time of, why are you shaving them? It's winter, it's cold outside. These dogs are inside dogs. They don't live outside. They're maybe outside 5-10 minutes, you know, at a time to go to the bathroom. They're not left outside. And so yeah, even though it's 32 degrees outside, it's not going to hurt them to go outside for 5 to 10 minutes to go to the bathroom and then come back in. And show grooming, show dogs, they get groomed at least twice a week, full groom. And that's how they have to be groomed to maintain that wonderfully, you know, beautiful coat that they have. You cannot expect to have a show quality coat and, you know, have your dog groomed every 8 to 12 weeks. It's not gonna happen. You have to put in the work at home. That is their full-time job when they are... Okay, I'm gonna have to go down to 7. He doesn't like what I'm doing. So I need to just get it off and get him done. I don't know these dogs. I don't require shot records. So anytime a dog is finicky and doesn't like what I'm doing, I just go ahead and get it done quickly because I can't risk getting bit. If I get bit, it could be career ending for me and I could be out indefinitely, and we don't want that. So this is a 7. Yep, you gotta go down. There you go. I put way too much time for these guys. It was going to take me 4 hours. I don't know what I was thinking. I think that's just automatically what the system puts in for the free grooms. But I mean, it's not going to take me any longer than 2 hours. So I'll have 2 hours in between these guys and my next dog, which is fine. I can run home and get some more towels, go let my dogs out, all of that. which is good because I'm only about 15 minutes from my house. Maybe more, maybe closer to 25, but. So there is a lot of turning in grooming, and you have to remember these small dogs, they're used to being picked up and held. They don't mind being picked up and turned. I'm not doing it roughly. I'm supporting the entire body. I'm grabbing them, you know, under the rib cage and then turning them. You know, they're used to being picked up. See? He's used to being picked up. He doesn't care. We have to turn them because I can't go to the other side of the table. I have to turn them to be able to groom them. Okay. I'm just gonna clean up this eye area. Just a little bit. These ears do need to be plucked. I didn't pluck Buttercup's because they were not bad at all. They barely had any hair in them. But this dog, as you will see, has pretty significant hair in there. All that. And this one is even worse. There's matting going on in it. So I don't know this dog. I don't know how it's going to react. So I am going to muzzle just as a precaution. There is nothing wrong with muzzling a dog. If you feel your safety is in jeopardy, even if somebody else thinks that it's not, you have the right to muzzle. Muzzle the dog. It doesn't hurt. You know, there's plenty of room here. This is vented, so the dog can breathe. So I'm using ear powder. This is the ear powder that I use. It helps me grip the hair. Do not use cornstarch, baby powder, anything like that. That can cause problems. This is specifically made for dogs. So yeah, I'm just gonna do the one quick method, one quick pull, because this dog is a lot more finicky than the sibling. So and it'll be easier because this is matted anyway. I'm just going to do that, and then very quickly just going to twist it out, and that's that. Just like that, it's done. You know, you can, all the rest of that around can be trimmed later. It's more so they're not used to it than it actually hurting. Now if it's in there deep, then yeah, it can be a little painful. But the majority of the time, it freaks them out because they're not used to it. They don't know what's going on. It's not that it's super painful. It's okay. See, this side was fine. So I just twist and twist and twist. It's okay. You're okay. I know, it's okay. You have to get off. Off. And that's that. So just turn the dog back and you check, and all that is out of there. All that's out. So I'm gonna take this off, and now it's bath time. So to start, I'm gonna fill this up with 3 to 4 gallons of water. This water is heated overnight to 95 degrees, so it is nice and warm. I also have the heat boost on. I don't have the heater on right now, but I have the heat boost, which heats the water again as it's coming out. So this is just castile soap, unscented. Yeah, it's not dog soap, but I use it just to get the majority of the dirt off the first time. Then I'll rinse the dog and I'll go in and hand scrub with dog shampoo. Because this is a recirculating bathing system. So what it does is it sucks up that water and it recycles the water. So I'm not having to waste a ton of water bathing the dogs. So this is, you can see this is sucking up and it's just recirculating it, and that's how it gets the dog clean. And how it works is it's just like a clothes washer. You know, it does one really good wash and then it rinses and it's done. It's the same thing with the dishwasher. It does one really good wash and then it rinses and your dishes are clean and your clothes are clean. It's the same concept. You know, you're doing one really good bath, and then to even go further, I'm gonna scrub the dog by hand. This is just getting the majority of the dirt off, so when I do go in and scrub, the actual shampoo, no sir. This guy is a lot more finicky than the sibling. So try not to get it in the face. Just want to get it started. Okay, get all that clean. I am gonna do the anal glands on this one. So on either side of the anus, you can see right there, there's a ball. And there's the anus right there. There's a ball right there. That is the anal gland sac. So you just go up and out gently, and you can see his anal glands were impacted because it's not supposed to look like that. And I'm just gonna wash that away. And I'm not gonna put this water back on the dog because then it would put anal gland secretions on the dog. So I'm gonna drain, turn the Bathing Beauty off. I'm going to very quickly rinse and get that dirty water off of him. I'm gonna rinse all of this, and I'm gonna rinse back here so it'll drain down. You can see how it's draining all those bubbles down. You okay? It's draining all those bubbles down. And that's why I picked the castile soap, is because it doesn't leave it super sudsy. It looks super sudsy, but they pop very quickly. So as it's draining, there's no suds left. There is no suds left. So it's just drains. So I'm gonna turn that drain off. I'm gonna get this dog wet again. And I'm gonna use this Plum Silky. This off. This stuff smells amazing. This is my like 6th or 7th dog I've used it on in that one bottle. The key to getting a good bath on a dog is making sure the dog is fully saturated with water before you start applying shampoo. If you start applying and that dog is not soaked with water all the way down to the skin, it's going to take a lot more shampoo. The best way to do a bath is to buy a car wash nozzle and put the shampoo in the cup and then bathe the dog that way. It's a bathing system. Really want to scrub those feet because those feet go everywhere. They step in pee sometimes, you know, they're walking all over They're walking all over the floor in the house. They walk all over in the yard where they've peed and pooped. So we really want to, and we want to get that tail nice and clean and get that butt clean. And this is going to be for the neck. I'm going to get around the neck clean. And for soap to work, it needs to sit just for a little bit, you know, maybe a minute or two. So I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna get his head wet, making sure not to get it in his nose. Just, you know, work that soap in some more. Off. I'm gonna take my tear-free shampoo. First, I'm gonna work it in up here. Off. Why he keeps doing that? This up here is really dirty, so I'm just gonna take my fingertips and just really work this in. This is tear-free. Everything used in today's video is linked down below. It's right next to the Rover's Makeover name. You just click more and everything will be right there. Just click the link and it'll take you to the product. I do earn commission on those purchases at no extra cost to you. Even if you don't need anything off of the stuff down below, if you just click a link and buy anything within 24 hours off of Amazon that you may need, I earn commission at no extra cost to you. So I got those, everything nice and good and scrubbed. So this on the body has been sitting a minute, so I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to scrub a little bit more, and that's how you get them super clean. So now I'm just going to do a quick rinse over, and then I'll focus more on getting all of that soap out. But when you do that first quick rinse, you're getting the majority of that soap off, so you're not having to use as much water. I'm going to rinse all that off. You can see that dirt layer. This white foam is from the shampoo we just used. That dirt, and then this dirt right here, that is from the first bath we did with him, the cast iron soap. You can see how much cleaner he is now. So now we're just gonna focus this on getting everything washed out. You want to make sure you get all of that shampoo out. If you don't, it will cause skin irritation. Okay, you remind me of a weenie dog for some reason. Okay, I need you down, bud. You gotta get down. We're gonna lift that head up so you don't get water in that nose. And get those ears. I'm gonna use a little bit of conditioner. This is conditioner. It sits back there in the back. On the tail and the top knot in the ears, so it's easier to brush out. Are you okay, bud? You keep breathing in that water, and I've done everything I can to keep it from going in his nose. So I'm just gonna rinse this out. No, down. I just need your head up. I can't get that water in his nose. He keeps breathing it in, even though when I put him down, he's putting his head down and it's getting in his nose. Okay. Nope, gotta keep your head up, bud. Get all that conditioner rinsed out. See? All right, so now I'm just gonna rinse down the tub, rinse down everything. I'm gonna drain this. This dirty water goes into the gray water tank in the back. I can either legally drain it into the street, or I can wait until I get home to dump it. It's actually going into the tank, so I will drain it when I get home tonight because it's above freezing. Can hear it going into the gray water tank. So I'm going to squeeze all this water out very gently and get all that water off too. Then I'm going to dry him the best I can. With mobile grooming, it is the key to not taking forever with drying is getting the dog dry as you can with the towel before you turn the dryers on, and humidity. If the humidity is high in the van, your drying time is going to drastically increase. So right now you can see it's 43% humidity in here and it's 72 degrees. So I'll show you in a minute with this open, that humidity will drop drastically. You okay, bud? You can't be inhaling water, okay? very thoroughly going to dry. There we go. I want it all the way up. I'm not being rough, I'm going fast, but I'm not pressing hard. It just gets them drier faster. I use as many towels as I need. I am not stingy with anything when it comes to grooming, because that is literally what these people are paying me to do. Not on this one, but my paid grooms. And even on these guys, you need to do your job 100%. If you're, you know, skimping on product on the free grooms, but you're giving your paid grooms, you know, all of what they need, that's really messed up. So I'm gonna get him a happy hoodie. I'm gonna put this underneath. I'm gonna get him a happy hoodie. This is just gonna protect his ears and lessen the anxiety. So as I am grooming, my van is on. It runs on diesel. As it runs, it charges the batteries to the inverter that runs everything else. If the engine is not on, I can't run the AC. The AC also doubles as a dehumidifier. So it is down to 37% humidity in here now. So I'm gonna put my ear protection on. I'm gonna do this fluff dryer. It's a lot less rough. I'm gonna do this real quick and just get the majority of that water off. And so now I'm gonna do a 5, see if that will work still. Yep. I love, love, love mobile grooming. I will never go back to being in shop. I love it. It's so much more peaceful. There's no interruptions. There's not 500 dogs barking. You make more money because it's a luxury service. I'm making double what I was in shop on the paid grooms. So a dog like this would be $135 to $145 for mobile. So today they're getting $270 to $290 of grooming for free, if that's how you want to look at it. But I don't care about that, because I know when I post the videos on YouTube, it'll cover that, so it doesn't really matter. And yes, I do these videos for YouTube, the free grooms. Now, would I still offer free grooms if I didn't have YouTube? Yes, I would. But would I be able to afford to do as many as I do now? Of course not. So having YouTube is a win-win for both parties. It's a win-win for me because I get videos for YouTube, and then it's a win for them because they're getting free services. And the dogs get a win because it's helping them. So I'm going to take this off and Trim up this neck area. Back here, here, everything to be cleaned up. I don't do anything different with the free grooms than I would a paid groom. They get the exact same services and quality that they would if they were paying. Because I have a reputation to uphold, and I don't want a dog that's been half groomed to leave my van and then someone say, oh yeah, I got it done by Rovers. Oh, well, that looks horrible. I don't want to go there. So this right here shows you they're used to being held. So they're so used to being held that when I touch their legs, they want to be held. So these legs fluffed up enough that I was able to use a 5 on them, even though I used a 7. Yep, that's the edge. Use a 7 on them with the pre-shave. What you think, Buttercup? He's okay. All right, so what I'm going to do, get this leg a little bit better, is I just go around and if there's anything that I need to go over again, I go over it. You cannot just go over a dog one time and call it good. You have to go over the coat multiple times, because when you come back to a spot, it's gonna have fluffed up a little bit from being touched or the dog shaking or whatever. So, okay, I'm gonna turn, no I'm not, I'm gonna do the sanitary real quick. Here's a 10. They wanted wide sanitaries for these guys, so that's what I'm gonna do. And then I'm also gonna do his tail with this, because he is a poodle. I'll lift up. So I, on the other video, forgot to do her wide potty trail, so I'm gonna take her real quick. This is real life. Hey! Hey! What in the world? I didn't do anything. Why are you reacting like that now? Well, I think I know why. They might breed them. And so she's next to him and she thinks she's going to be bred, possibly. She does not have a tattoo from being spayed, so that could be why. So I guess I'll wait until the end. I'm going to do his nails real quick. He's a little finicky, a lot more finicky than she was, so I am going to go ahead and muzzle real quick. Do his nails. Nail health is very important. His nails are very long. So I'm going to clip them first and then use the Dremel. The long ones. Okay. So those go up. Take my Dremel. That scared the crap out of me. That Buttercup got my adrenaline going. It's dogs like that do that. That is the reason why when groomers start out grooming, they muzzle a lot. Because I know that was a fear thing. That was not, I'm trying to eat you alive. She doesn't want to hurt me. She was letting me know I don't like what you're doing. But as a new groomer, I would have muzzled her. But because I'm about to go into my 14th year, I've learned a lot as the years go on. She doesn't want to hurt me. She's telling me I don't want you doing that. Nope. Nope. So I use a Dremel because it gets closer to the quick. It helps recede that quick so you don't have 2-inch long nails by the time the dog is 10. And some dogs don't like it. I'm doing very quick strokes. I'm not holding it on there, so it's not hurting. But dogs that are not groomed on a regular basis are not used to it. Turn that off. I'm gonna get my curved shears, and actually I need to do the paw pads first. So on these paw pads, sometimes if there's a bunch of hair, I like to brush it up. So then I know I'm getting all of it. So this prevents matting in between, prevents moisture from collecting and causing fungus and bacterial infections in between. Okay, just like that. You just gotta move with the dog. If the dog wants to stand up for this, I'm gonna let him stand up. Whatever gets the job done. You gotta work with the dogs. You can't force them to do what you want them to do. So as I'm cutting, it just sucks up all the hair. Keeps this place a lot more hygienic. Just very quickly gonna skim those ears down. So you can see how hairy that is. So I just skim it, and it just moves that hair away from the opening so that ear can breathe better. So now I'm gonna use scissors. And again, this does not hurt the dog. The dog can breathe, the dog can pant. Dogs can even drink with those on. I'm gonna cut these feet at a 45-degree angle. And then we're gonna lift up that hair in between the toes. You can see how long that hair is. A lot of the time, that hair in between those toes gets forgotten. And so as the dog is walking around and time goes on, that hair pops up and it makes the feet look like they were never trimmed. So you've got to pick that up and just trim that off. And then another area on these front legs is this area right in here. There is a paw pad right there. So you just very carefully want to trim around that paw pad because you don't want that hair sticking out. Okay, so all that hair right there, you can see, just if I leave that there, it's gonna look horrible. It's all about finishing touches when you're grooming. You have to get that. Turn. So again, we're just gonna brush. I'm gonna trim. We're gonna get that hair up so it makes it look. No, this dog is not the easiest to groom, but I can work with wiggly dogs. It's the bitey dogs that make me nervous, but I get them done. I've done several on the channel. So then you can just brush them down, and that's that. So now I'm going to start working on the tail real quick. So just very, very gently going to brush tangles out. You don't want to sit there and just rake. You're gonna make the skin bleed. And you never, ever, ever want to use a comb to demat. So I'm gonna trim this, leaving 1/2 inch to 1 inch of fur. So here's the end of the tail is right here. You wanna leave some of that fur. And then I'm just going to brush and fluff this up. And for a poodle tail, you just want to trim. No. See, this dog is not used to being groomed properly. You just want to trim that into a round ball. There you go. There's that. Now we're going to do the head. The head is going to be some work. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to start by gently just brushing all of this out. If you're going in and you're cutting fur that hasn't been brushed out, it's not going to look finished when you get done. So some of this in here is still wet. I don't like this to be kept because you can see there's matting in here. So I will trim this where it's not obvious. I don't like that hair being left because it mats. I don't like this hair in here being left because it mats. It's all about prevention. You've got to do things to prevent matting. You can't even tell that I cut that. But it prevents all that from getting matted and being matted next time. So this, I will just kind of taper off. Taper off. Just cut that. And we're gonna trim the ears anyway because they've been hacked on. So again, just brush everything out. Everything out. So, trim here again. Don't want this hair here. It mats. All this in here. Want that gone. Okay. So, I'm going to trim these ears as they've been hacked on. Just like buttercups. So I'm using my finger and my thumb as a guide. So if I cut anything, it's gonna be my fingers, not the dog's ears. I'm gonna try to make both these dogs look alike, look very similar. I think it looks better more when they're more uniform with each other. So we're gonna trim these ears pretty short. This will help prevent matting, but we're not gonna like so short that they're like shaved. Then I'm just gonna pull all this long hair up in on the inside of this ear, and I'm gonna cut it. So it's all that hair is not sticking out anymore. Okay. So there's some hair that's sticking out there. So we're just going to trim that. And then we're going to trim this. Okay. Same thing on this side. We're going to trim it. Just like you, Buttercup. Except you have a lot nicer hair than he does. Your hair is nice and thick, and his is thin and scraggly. There are many, 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 many different types of coat textures. And that's why on, you know, even though they're the same breed, I may not be able to do the same cut on him that I did on her because the hair texture is so different. Okay, so this one needs to be a little bit shorter. Just gonna a little bit shorter. And again, same thing. We're gonna just pull up all this long hair, and we're very carefully. There's been some comments that I go too fast on the ears. I'm about to go into my 14th year of grooming. I just have experience. I know what I'm doing. I'm never gonna cut a dog's ear. So I'm just gonna, this has been cut. So I'm not gonna be able to do exactly what I did on her, but I'm just gonna fluff this up. No, shh. And just kind of trim this and round it. I'm not gonna be able to do like I did on her because they trimmed it pretty short, so I'm kind of having to just work with what I've been given. I'm gonna comb all this forward. I'm gonna cut at a 45-degree angle. If I go in here like this, it's gonna look wrong. So I'm gonna go in here at a 45-degree angle and trim that. So all this needs to go. This in here tends to mat pretty quick. So I want all this. They wanted a teddy bear head. So I'm just going, this needs to be trimmed and cleaned up. Just gonna do what is best for the dog. What I think is best for the dog long term. Because with these free grooms, I have no idea when the next time this dog is gonna be groomed. So I have to keep that in mind. I have to do what's going to stay good, you know, for the dog for a while, you know, at least 12 weeks. Okay, so trim this a little bit more and trim this a little bit more. It's not gonna look the best. This is gonna have to be pretty short to look decent. No, it's not gonna look like hers. Just because it's been cut so short. All right, buddy, you're looking better. So. Comb that forward. All that to be blended. Here, that looks better. You handsome boy. Now I gotta work up on here. Nope, nope. I'm going to trim this pretty short because how bad his teeth are. It's better for him. Not super short, but this is not going to be nasty. I'm going to brush all this forward. Still got some tangles in it. It's so nasty in here from these teeth. Shh. I'm just gonna brush all that forward and I'm gonna trim it. Don't want any of this nasty stuff. So the reason I make noise is it distracts them just for a second so I can safely get that cut. I don't like this in here. And I know some people like it super fluffy in there. I think it looks unfinished. And in about 2 weeks, that dog's not going to be able to see because that hair's on the bridge of the nose right there. So I actually did a free groom a couple of weeks ago and they were like, hey, I want to go ahead and schedule a bath. And I'm doing that bath today, which is exciting. Some of this still needs to be trimmed. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to grooming, so I sit here and nitpick, and I just have to remember they're not groomers. They're not going to sit there and be like, oh, she missed a hair there. You know, it's the dog looks better and is clean, so that's generally what they care about. I'm going to take this off and I'm going to look at the back of this head and these ears. So that ear needs to be trimmed a little bit more. It's sticking out. So I see so many grooms where this head back here is not blended into the body. You really scissoring is a very, very important part of grooming, and if you don't have good scissoring skills, your grooms are not going to look the best. So if you need to practice scissoring, get poodles, get, you know, any kind of dog that requires scissoring. You cannot just use blades on dogs. You just can't. I'm gonna take some of this off. Okay, so nice blended. You know, if I'm looking from the back, is there anything sticking out? You know, does it look right, or does it look like the groom from the back is unfinished? So you can see it's pretty well blended into the back of the head. Okay, there's a little bit here, but you have to look from the back too, so it looks pretty good. I think I got everything done. The ears are cleaned out, the face is done, so all now that is left is a bandana, and we've got nice winter bandanas because it is still December. Huh. I will tell them that they need their teeth checked by a vet ASAP, especially his teeth. His are really bad. They're bleeding and stuff. So gross. Very important on these little dogs to get their teeth checked regularly. Very important. It can lead to a oronasal fistula, which requires surgery to fix. It's a hole between the oral cavity, the mouth, and the nasal cavity, like the sinuses, up where the dog's nose is. So very, very important to get your dog's teeth checked, and if they need to be cleaned or teeth need to be pulled, you need to do it. Long term, it can lead to sepsis, and the dog can die from a bacterial blood infection, sepsis. So very, 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 very important. So we're just gonna do a little bit of perfume, and he is done. So here's the before and after pictures. Everything used in this video is linked down below. I do have a wish list down there to help me with things for the free grooms that I do. If they have fleas, I give them flea and tick collars. If they need yard spray, I give them yard spray. And I wouldn't be able to do it without help from people just like yourself. And I hope you subscribe to see more free grooms and paid grooms, and I'll see you in the next video, hopefully.